Hello and welcome back to my English classes. Thank you for your subscriptions, your comments, and your likes as I have been motivated by it. Now, today we are going to see class 8 Honey, chapter 10, The Great Stone Face, part 2. Now, in the first part, we have seen that Ernest was motivated by the stone face which was appeared like a human being on the mountain, and there he called him as his own teacher because that face has taught him many things: to be kind, to be lenient, to listen to others. And now we will see in part 2 that many years have passed, and Ernest was now a man of middle age. You can say middle age around 30 to 50, between 30 to 50. To his neighbors, who never suspected that he was anything more than an ordinary and familiar face. Before that, everybody knew that uh, he was he was having that face which was common to everyone. He was only a humble and hardworking, though thoughtful person. In the first part, we have seen all these things. But what about the old prophecy? What it ever fulfilled? Let us read and find it out. Now, in this chapter, we are going to find it out the prophecy that the stone face can be found in reality or not. We will see in this chapter. First, I will read the paragraphs and then I will explain you the chapter. The years hurried on, that means the years passed on, and brought white hairs upon the head of Ernest, that means around 40 to 60, 70 years, and made wrinkles across his forehead and furrows on his cheeks. Now wrinkles means जो आपकी जब एज होने लगती है तो आप माथे पे धारियां देखने लगते हो. That was there. He was an old man, but not in vain had he grown up old. More enormous that the white hairs on his head were the wise thoughts in his mind. Now, here the writer has considered the white hairs of the earnest as the thoughts, wise thoughts which were there in his mind. And Ernest has ceased to be obscure. Obscure means not well known about this reality that people thought about him like this. Unsought for, undesired, had come the fame which so many seek. Had came the fame which so many seek about the great stone face. He had become famous beyond the limits of the valley. College professors and even the active men of cities come from far to see and converse converse with Ernest. He was so well known that the people all around from different parts of the places, from far off places, they used to come and meet Ernest and discuss their things with him. And he received them with gentle sincerity and spoke freely with them of whatever came uppermost. That means he used to give suggestions, and that is why people were motivated by him, and the people from far off used to come for their solutions or lay deepest in his heart or their own. While they talked together, his face would brighten unawares and shine upon them as with a mild evening light. मतलब जब लोगों से वो बात करता था तो ऐसा लगता था जैसे उसके फेस पे एक रोशनी आ गई, एक ग्लो आ गया है, which was like the slight evening light. While Ernest had been growing old, God had granted a new poet to this earth. He too was a native of the valley, means he was a poet as well, and he used to write, you can say, or he used to speak those words in the form of poetry, but had spent the greater part of his life in distant cities, pouring out his sweet music everywhere. Means sweet music of thoughts, the way of talking, the way of expressing, the way of listening to people. All these sweetness was there in his life. Neither was the great stone face forgotten, for the poet had celebrated it in a poem. The songs of this poet found their way to Ernest. Now, here there are few poets who have been known, wanted to know about Ernest more about, and wanted to discuss their things with him. So they used to come to him. He read them after his contrary told me his usual work, seated on the bench before his cottage door. As he read, he lifted his eyes to the mountain. While he was, the people used to send their poetries to him as well. So while he used to read, he used to sit on the corridor of his door, and while reading these poems, he used to watch the great stone face. "O great stone face," he said, "is not that this man worthy to be your likeness?" The face seemed to smile but did not answer. मतलब यहाँ पे ग्रेट स्टोन फेस जो था वो स्माइलिंग अपीयरेंस थी, but it didn't give any response. Why? Because it was a non-living thing. So non-living thing cannot move and give you expressions. Now it happened that the poet, though he lived far away, had not heard of Ernest, but had thought much about his character, and wished to meet this man whose wisdom walked hand to hand with the noble simplicity of his life. Now he was well known for his simplicity. He was known for his character, to talk to people wisely, to give suggestions wisely, to be humble, to listen to everyone quietly, and then he used to give the answers and suggestions. He found the good old man holding a book in his hand, which he read, and then, with a finger between the leaves, looked lovingly at the great stone face. Now, what he used to do? At times, while he was reading, in between he used to see the great stone face, because he has considered the great stone face as his teacher. So maybe he used to get thoughts from him or motivated. "Good evening," said the poet. "Can you give a traveler a night shelter?" Now here a poet has came to him to meet him, and he said, "I want one night to spend here." "Gladly," answered Ernest, and then he added, smiling, "I think I never saw the great stone face look so hospitably at the stranger." Now here this man is considering Ernest as a great stone face. So he is saying this, that you are so humble and kind that you have given me the chance to stay here for a night. The poet sat down beside him, and he and Ernest talked together. Never before had the poet talked with a man like Ernest. So wise, so gentle, so kind. Ernest, on the other hand, was moved by the living images flung out of the poet's mind. Now here why Ernest used to listen quietly? Because he used to make out the things what are there in the mind of the person. So he was glad to read the mind of the man, the poet. As Ernest listened to the poet, he imagined that the great stone face was bending toward to listen to. He gazed into the poet's eyes. Now ऐसा लग रहा था जैसे while the poet is talking, ऐसा लग रहा था कि जैसे ग्रेट स्टोन फेस भी उसकी तरफ झुका जा रहा है ताकि वो उसको सुन सके. "Who are you, my gifted guest?" he asked. The poet laid his finger on the book that Ernest had been reading. अर्नेस्ट ने पूछा, "Who are you?" तो उसने उस बुक के ऊपर अपने आप को वो किया, बेंड किया, और जो अर्नेस्ट पढ़ रहा था. "You have read these poems," he said. "You know me? Then I wrote them, for I wrote them." Now he was that poet of whose book Ernest was already reading. Again and again Ernest exclaimed the poet features. He turned towards the great stone face, then back. He shook his head and sighed. मतलब बार बार वो एक बार पोएट को देख रहा था, एक बार अर्नेस्ट को देख रहा था. मतलब यू कैन से ही वाज कंपेयरिंग बोथ द थिंग्स, the poet and the great stone face. "Why are you so sad?" inquired the poet. Inquired means पोएट ने जानने की कोशिश करी कि why Ernest was sad. "Because," replied Ernest, "all through life I have awaited for fulfillment of a prophecy, and while I read these poems I hope that it might be fulfilled in you." Now he is saying that the prophecy that the great stone face will be there one day in reality. So he was saying to the poet that through all the life I was waiting for this professor. "You hoped," answered the poet, faintly smiling. Faintly smiling means हल्की सी मुस्कुराहट देते हुए बोला, "To find me the likeness of the great stone face, I am not worthy to be its likeness." Now here poet is saying that as I think you are comparing me as a great stone face, but I am not to his likeness, मैं उसकी तरह महान नहीं हूँ. And why not? Asked Ernest. He pointed to the book. Are not those thoughts worthy? Now he is saying, जो भी पोएम आपने लिखी क्या वो इससे रिलेटेड नहीं है? क्या ये इसमें कोई मीनिंग नहीं है? You can hear in them the distant voice of heavenly song, but my life, dear Ernest, has not corresponded with my thoughts. Now here he is saying that his writing is not corresponding with his thoughts. I have had grand ड्रीम्स बट दे हैव बीन ओनली ड्रीम्स. वो कह रहा है कि मेरे बहुत बड़े बड़े सपने हैं लेकिन वो सपने सपने ही रह गए. समटाइम्स आई लैक फेथ इन माई ओन थॉट्स. वाई देन प्योर सीकर ऑफ द गुड एंड द ट्रू शुड यू होप टू फाइंड मी इन द फेस ऑफ द माउंटेन. नाउ हियर ही इज सेइंग दैट व्हाई यू ट्रीट मी लाइक अ ग्रेट स्टोन फेस. क्यों तुम मेरे अंदर वो चीज़ें देख रहे हो जो तुम उसके अंदर देख रहे हो, जबकि मेरे ड्रीम्स अभी फुलफिल नहीं हुए, वो ड्रीम्स की ड्रीम्स ही रह गए. द पोएट स्पोक सैडली एंड हिज आईज वर वेट विथ टीयर्स. सो टू वर दोज ऑफ अर्नेस्ट. ना यह दोनों जब बात कर रहे हैं तो दोनों इमोशनल हो गए और दोनों की आंखों से आंसू आ रहे हैं. एट द आवर ऑफ सनसेट एज हैड बीन his custom, Ernest was to speak to a group of neighbors in the open air. और हर शाम को वो क्या करता था, अपने नेबर्स से ग्रुप में सबसे, क्योंकि सबकी वो सुनता था, तो ही यूज टू गो इन द इवनिंग एंड लिसन टू देम. द सेम थिंग ही डिड इट. टुगेदर ही एंड द पोएट वेंट टू द मीटिंग प्लेस. आर्म इन आर्म. आर्म इन आर्म मीन्स हाथ में हाथ डाल के, हाथ में हाथ पकड़ के दोनों चले गए. फ्रॉम देयर could be seen the great stone face, the place where Ernest used to talk to the neighbors their problems. From there, the Ernest was able to see the great stone face. Ernest threw a look of familiar kindness around upon his audience. He began to speak to the people what was in his heart and mind. His words had power because they agreed with his thoughts, and his thoughts had reality and depth because they harmonized with the life which he had always lived. Now here क्यों लोग उसको इतना मानते थे? क्योंकि उसके जो थॉट्स थे, उसकी जो बातें थी, उसके जो लोगों की बातें सुनने के बाद जो एक्सप्लेनेशन होता था वो उनसे मैच करते थे, उनकी थॉट से रिलेट करते थे. ऐसा होता ना जब हमारे माइंड से रिलेटेड या हमारी तरह ही हमें कोई मिलता है तो हम उसके दोस्त बन जाते हैं. तो इसी तरीके से as Ernest was wise in his work, so people liked him, people loved him very much. It was not mere breath that the preacher uttered. They were the words of life. Now, what he used to do? He used to explain people with the help of nature, taking the help of nature and the practical things in life. जब चीज़ें हम प्रैक्टिकल लाइफ से रिलेट कर देते हैं तो वो हमें बहुत अच्छे से समझ में आ जाती है. इन द सेम वे अर्नेस्ट यूज्ड टू डू इट. A life of good deeds and selfless love was melted into them. The poet, as he listened, felt that the life and the character of Ernest were the noblest strain of poetry than he had ever written. जब पोएट ने ये चीज़ उसका देखा, एक्सप्लेनेशंस देखे, तो वो मूव्ड हो गया. ही वॉज मूव्ड एंड उसने सोचा कि मेरी पोइट्री जो है, मैंने कभी इस टाइप की पोइट्री नहीं लिखी है. His eyes filled with tears and he had said to himself that never was there a worthy a sage that mild, sweet, thoughtful face and the glory of white hair diffused about it. Now here the writer, the poet is convinced this thing that he has never seen the person like that. Okay. At the distance, but clearly to be seen up high in the golden light of the setting sun, appeared the great stone face. Now शाम का वक्त था, तो जैसे ही सन सेट हो रहा था और मून का निकलने का था, तो वो फेस जो था बहुत अच्छा सा अपीयर हो रहा था. They were able to see the great stone face with white mist around it. धुंध मतलब जो हल्का हल्का whiteness उसके ऊपर पड़ी थी. Like the white hairs around the brow of Ernest. At that moment, Ernest's face looked as an expression so grand that the poet was moved to throw his arms up and shout. Now here, comparing Ernest and the great stone face, similar. He was so moved that he shouted, "Behold, behold, Ernest himself द लाइकनेस ऑफ ग्रेट स्टोन फेस। क्यों? क्योंकि उसने जब ग्रेट स्टोन फेस को देखा और अर्नेस्ट को देखा, ग्रेट स्टोन जैसे पहाड़ी पे हल्की हल्की वाइट वाइट सी हो मॉइस्ट पड़ जाती ना, तो उसी तरीके से अर्नेस्ट को वो कंपेयर कर रहा था उसके सफेद बालों से। तो वो जब दोनों को मिलान कर रहा था, देन ही शाउटेड, नो, अर्नेस्ट इज हिमसेल्फ लाइक अ great stone face. Then all the people looked and saw that what the poet said was true. Now when the poet shouted like that Ernest himself is like a great stone face, so everyone saw that face, and then they started comparing and they said, okay, yes, whatever the poet is saying is true. The prophecy was fulfilled. But Ernest, having finished what he had to say, took the poet's arm and walked slowly homeward, still hoping that some wiser and better man than himself would be by and by appear. ना यहाँ पे सब लोग अर्नेस्ट को ग्रे स्टोन फेस से कंपेयर कर रहे थे, मिला रहे थे, और वो कह भी दिए थे कि ही वॉज लाइक अ great stone face. But still, Ernest was waiting for that wise man who would be there appear like the great stone face, bearing a resemblance to the great stone face, hoping that one day a wiser man will appear which will have the resemblance जिसकी रूबरू शक्ल great stone face से मिलती हो. I hope you have understood the chapter. Thank you.